And I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with IRS. Welcome to my YouTube station. It's the home of the 4 minute or less video because you're not going to listen any more than 4 minutes. I get everything I have to say. I worked at IRS for 10 years. I've been in private practice for 40 years. I am one of the leading experts in the nation on IRS resolution matters. I have a whole team of former IRS agents on staff. I have attorneys and CPAs, and I've been on the national news a lot. They ask for my interviews. I've been on Newsmax, CNN, News Nation, ABC, CBS, all the major stations. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about how does IRS know how much I've made if I deal in cash? I get that all the time. I live in South Florida. There's a lot of people here that deal in cash all the time, and they're afraid to file tax returns. And it says, well, I don't want to file a return. I don't want IRS to know how much I make. So how does IRS back into what a person makes? Well, the IRS does a number of searches. They have a number of search engines they use to find things, but people dealing in cash may not even show up there. IRS will check to see if anyone gave you a 1099 or W-2, but you still may not appear there. So what does IRS do? IRS has to back into your income. So how does IRS back into your income? How would I do that? I'm going to give you an example of a person who owned like a subway station. It wasn't a subway station. And I walked into his office and I asked the guy, I says, hey, I need your tax returns. So, I don't know how much I made. I have no idea how much I made. I need your returns. I can't give them to you because I don't know how much. Well, I was going to give him a summons, but I says, I'm going to file his returns for him. IRS can do that. So what I did, I says, do you have any record? No, everything's in cash. So you know what I did? I delivered 2 subpoenas to 2 vendors, his cup vendor and his bread vendor. With those, I was able to reconstruct how many sandwiches he sold and how many drinks he has sold. Those are their 2 big products. Of course, they have chips and cookies, and you can just add a 5% onto that of gross income. So when you get the total bread, you take 10% away for just spoilage, or the bread was bad, or they ran over, they didn't need them, and the same thing for cups. And with that, you can back into a person's income. So in the case of an individual dealing in cash, there's national standards that the Department of Labor actually uses. So what you do is you find out if someone has credit cards, you find out how much credit cards are. But if you're dealing strictly in cash, I'd go to the Department of Labor and I'd find out what the average cost is of a person living in that county. And you can find out yourself. You can go to the IRS national standards and find them out. They're the Department of Labor statistics. They have them for food and clothing. They have them for housing and utilities. They have them for car payments, and they have them for operation of cars. So you can kind of back into that information, and this way you can reconstruct a person's return. Plus, you can drive around your house, find out kind of what assets are there, and you can set up a tax return, then let that person go in and appeal it, and you'll have to bring in some records for that. So anyway, there's lots of things to do. So you learned a couple tricks today. No matter what you've done, IRS can go ahead and reconstruct tax returns if you're dealing in cash. You need to call. I know all the tricks. Go ahead, give me a subscription. I'm welcome for a free consultation. Have a good one. Thank you.